Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
I
went.
think, go ahead.
I went through them when you posted them.
I think by even on ChatGPT, it said by having like a distinct thing that like those three setups, having those three distinctly in your mind will help you not take careless setups. Because when it takes off of demand, sometimes I do find myself like taking setups that it's just like bouncing off of demand and now I'm looking for a low SVP node to go long. Um, but that's not necessarily the smartest way because just because there's a low SVP node wouldn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a key level. Whereas, like for example, this one right here, um, it had bounce. I guess it didn't bounce off demand yet. I don't know what happened prior to this, but it looks like it was falling down. But it broke this key level, pre-market low, and then it breaks it, then pops up above it, and then pulls back into it. So this is a reclaim level retest. I think Gabriel's trade is a little better example. Was it this one? Yeah, see how here it bounces off the 1 hour demand, takes off, and then uh there was a low SVP node on this, right, Gabriel?
Yeah, it was
So
just under
so
yesterday's
now
low.
yeah, so he didn't just rely on the low SVP node, he also had the yesterday's low to confirm it as a level. But the way it popped up above it and then it pulls back and then using order flow to confirm that this level is being held. And then I like how you did the checklist here. The limit orders appeared around yesterday's low, which you could see here. And then a low volume node was exactly where yesterday's lows were. So you could almost kind of see here there was a low volume node. Then volume large green buyers were appearing after price broke below yesterday's low. So you could see here the aggressive selling came down into yesterday's low, trying to sell lower. Um, then it kind of slows down a bit, and then buyers start to shift in. And then the CVD
Also,
line with
yeah, CVD line was consolidating under that.
yeah, CVD is consolidating, and you can see when he entered, it starts to uh, rise up, and then there was no outlier, and then key level was price was at his key level. But that checklist is, I think, great. Like if you have those, and then you could check off 4 out of 6 of them, then go for it, take the trade. Here he had 5 out of 6 of them. Um, but my whole point is that like say next time market hits demand and then now we're looking for it takes off and then now we're looking for oh is the market going to come back down into demand for a key level? It may not, but now we have yesterday's low that we know could be a key area of interest because it broke it. I mean it, yeah, it popped under it, reclaims it, and then tries to hold it. And here on that hold, you get confirmation from order flow and then take it long. So having this idea of the reclaim level retest next time, and it works for the downside also. So if it's coming down from supply, um, you don't necessarily have to have 1 hour demand be your key level. You can also use yesterday's low, even VWAP, but I think VWAP isn't as reliable. I would prefer a yesterday's low or a pre-market low, or even the one that we were seeing, Eloy, where it was like a resistance level. I don't remember where that one is. Uh, this one. How it sold off aggressively into 15-minute demand. In pre-market, it tries to break, it never breaks, pulls back down into demand, and now it's making a higher low. So this higher low is super good confirmation that the market wants to kind of go higher because it didn't break lower. And that not doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, because it's made a higher low, like get long anywhere. You still need it to pull back down into a key level so it pops up, and then intraday it comes back down and tests that resistance level. So this is lower probability because you don't have a yesterday's low or a pre-market low or even VWAP. But if you do get confirmation from order flow and it is a previous resistance, then I mean go ahead and try it. Just keep in mind that because there's not a specific key level, it could be lower probability. And then I think that's also beneficial, like in how you grade your trades. Like with Gabriel's, I'd say that's a A plus plus setup there. This one, you could say it's the setup itself is like B, just because we don't have a specific key level here. It's just resistance. But I mean, also on the execution, you could have an A plus setup if order flow aligned with it.
There's so many factors. Crazy.
I know, seriously. That's why I think the way you have that checklist is so important because if you could like have that checklist next to you while you're trading and like you could really look at it like, okay, this is aligning, this is aligning, this is aligning, then your the way you take trades are gonna it just becomes a lot cleaner.
Yeah, I started doing that because I felt like there was too much noise. Like I wasn't uh being specific on what exactly I needed to look for. So I just created that checklist for myself. And
Do
it
you have
started,
it next to you while you're trading, or
yeah, in my pre-market journal plan thing.
so every day you have it written down?
Yep.
Damn, that's good. I need to do that. I want to just like have one on my screen, just like a little post it, just so I could remind myself every time.
Uh,
Um, but like I remember seeing one of your trades that you looked like was it
Let me talk about my winners.
the limit order, the fast drop. Was this one? I feel like with your trades, Eloy, like you point out one thing, like here you pointed out value, but then like you avoid CVD in a certain like you'll point out CVD one time on one setup, and then you won't point out volume on another on that setup, but then the next trade you'll point out volume and you won't point out CVD. So like that's why I'm saying the checklist is so good because now you know like okay, I have to look at limit orders, I have to look at volume here, I have to look at CVD, I have to look at low SVP node, and then obviously your key level, making sure it aligns, and then market context you also would want to make sense as well. But I think using a checklist like Gabriel has can really help you moving forward. Um, but that was all I wanted to mention about that. I guess we could go into bookmap, review the days.
Yeah, that checklist is cool. I don't know what I've been sloppy. Like my mind game hasn't been focused. Like I'm just playing like the motions, but I don't even feel like I'm like. I think I'm also like I want to use real money now because then sometimes too I just feel like what am I doing? Like I'm just using fake money. Like I'm realizing
yeah.
I might not really be feeling the emotions that I need to feel, and so therefore I'm just trying shit. In a way where it matters, because before I'm like I don't care, at least I'm learning, but now I'm like, am I really learning? Like if I'm not taking my rules serious.
I mean, in the beginning, when you're paper trading, yeah, you're learning and your learning curve is spiking up. But then eventually, later in the game, you start to plateau. So I think that's where you're at right now, because you know more than the basics now. You're like you've made winning trades before, So there's not much to learn left with paper trading. I think you just need to jump in to the live trading. Just make that curve go more higher instead of just plateauing. Stuff like that.
Yeah. I definitely feel there's like new lessons to be learned with the real money that I'm wasting my time not learning while I'm on paper trade.
I think too though, because you're on paper trade, you're more uh likely to kind of like take careless trades almost. I'm not saying you're being careless, but like it's kind of like, oh, let me just see if this works. Whereas with real money, like for example, me, like I know like I can't take more than one trade because my account is depleting and I just see it depleting. So like I have to be more serious about that rule. And I was, but then I kind of like got the cushion that I had built from the winning trades and it allowed my mind to just get a bit careless to be honest.
That's
So
crazy.
I
Even
think
with large wins, you can still be careless.
yeah, it's fucking crazy. So I think paper trading does make you a little more like, oh, let me just try this out and see if it works. And then that goes against you because then it kind of beats your confidence by taking the losses. And it's like, damn, if I would have never even taken that trade, I would still be mentally confident on what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Did anyone take a trade on the 19th?
Man.
I did. I took a loss at 6:43 and then a win at 7:28.
Hey, why do you think your mind hasn't been there, Eloy?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm still trying to figure that out with journaling and stuff. And like, I journal because I like try to see where my mind's at. And I was even texting Eric during the week, like hoping he would say that he quit smoking weed on purpose or something. Because I was like, hey, has your weed been affecting you? Because I'm like on this trying to take a break, but then my mind gives in and starts smoking. And then, but I don't think it's the weed. It's just more of like, I think I'm trying to find like an excuse, but it's more like I just need to like buckle down. And I also feel I've been reviewing, but not as hard as I should be. And I don't know. Like my mind has just been busy. I feel, even though I'm trying to get it back. And I
Are
feel
you
like
trying to quit? Are you trying to quit weed?
not like 100%. I just more like try to take breaks because I think, what if it's what's holding me back or something?
Do you get withdrawals from weed? Maybe that could be fucking up your mind
I be doing a
and
lot
your
of
anxiety.
breaks, and for me, the withdrawal is only the first day. After the first day, I feel not like fine, and that's why I've been like taking my breaks every Sunday. Like, oh, I'm gonna like cold turkey on Sunday, and then I'll be good for the rest of the week. And then I tend to like smoke on like Friday nights or Saturday, and then I go like clean up for Sunday. So I don't know. I don't even know if it's really the excuse. I just feel like it's something I've been trying, and then I'll just be fiending for some weed sometimes during the week, like some fucking fiend.
Do you think if you were live trading, your discipline on like just going over your trades and all that would be more serious than with the paper trades?
Right now, that's like another thing that I'm developing as an idea. Like I think so, because like yeah, I feel like I'm going through the motions of like I keep like if I'm doing paper trading, it's like all right, let's see what I find today, where I know I want to, and let's see what I find today, and let's try it out for like the experience. But I know when I go live, like I want to train those discipline skills a little more. Where I'm like, nope, I don't see nothing today. Like I don't see There's nothing to try out unless you just want to lose money.
Yeah. But what about like with your reviewing? Like, are you reviewing your demo trades?
Yeah, that like not all of them every day. Like I'll try to do a session of maybe a win trade. I'm like, oh, let me see. Like obviously, I'm not reviewing the losses, but it's like an easier like, I just lost. Like, let me get on with my day, and then I'll come back to the computers like later in the day to chart and stuff. But
See what? It's tough because with your journal you can't really do it. But where's my journal? I just lost it. Um, I like to. What helps me like really understand what my error is. I see my journal. Oh, you could.
yeah,
Uh, but like I said, it's kind of hard with the way you have it. But I'll go to my calendar this is what really helped me see what I was doing wrong. Like I could just look at my calendar and it shows me like one trade, one trade, one trade, one trade, and they're all winners. And then I look at my two trades, four trades, two trades, three trades, three trades, and they're all red for the month. So that already points something out to me like, okay, taking more than one trade is giving you red days, so that's a problem. And then just the ability to review trades and see like on one specific day what my errors were compared to other days, like that's so helpful in organizing in my mind what my errors are. Um, like if you right now you have a data set of all your recent trades, so like you have to review that journal and really see like out of all the past 10 trades, for example, what's the consistent error that you keep making over and over again? Because then now you know, okay, this is one specific error that I have to stop making. So you go into next week like, okay, you can't make this mistake again. And say you have two or three errors. You work on those two or three errors, and then the next week you go at the end of the week and review like, okay, did I make those errors again? And if you did, then obviously going into the next week you got to work on them again. But if you didn't, then okay, boom, you solved that one, and it may come back again, but you solved that one for now. um, that I think is super beneficial, and that's why reviewing your journal is so important, because you have this data set of what your errors are. You just have to go back and really see what those errors are, and then moving forward, work on not making those errors again. Right now, if you looked at your 10 trades, what would you say is your biggest error?
Damn, yeah. That's part of my problem that I don't review my stuff a lot. But I have notes here, so like I can't even tell you right off the back. I just have to go back and read my notes. But it's like, why didn't I already know?
I
I
forget
think,
you don't
And
have
that,
Trader Sync.
yeah, I don't have
yeah,
Trader Sync. So yeah, like that, you just made that point down. Like, damn, is because right now I just write it down all my stuff on an Excel sheet, and I know I'm like, damn, like you're selling a good pitch on like that program you're using because I'm like, I just have like a whole
but
list of things, and maybe it's not engaging the way I look at it.
but you don't honestly like it is a super good program. Yeah, I think it's very beneficial. But even if you do only have Excel, look at here how I always bold my first the first beginning text that I input is my errors. So if I go back to last week, uh I needed a better target on my first trade here. That was my error. I was impatient on this one, and market context was my error. The next trade, impatient, market context. So this was just a bad day in general. I overtraded, I forced the trade, lacked confirmation, market context. And if like you go back to I'll go back to later, you'll see that the same things are popping up because I'm aware that of the errors that I keep making. Like I always highlight my overtrades with either this dark yellow or this other color, just to remind myself like, okay, on this week you were overtrading, or like for example, right here, I was emotional, distracted by Discord, impatient, wrong outlier. That was when I was using outlier. Um, overtrade, influenced by Discord. Like I always at least one or two things that I know were part of my errors. And I'm showing you this so that like on your Excel sheet, you put that in the beginning of whatever you write out, just so that when you review it, like you don't have to read everything you wrote. Like you know those key points that were your errors.
Yeah, yeah.
And I even do it on my actual journal. Oh, fuck. The journal. What the fuck just happened? The journal lets you put that like your mistakes, and that's kind of where I got the idea from of doing it. Um, yeah, see here, mistakes, low probability, market context, influenced by Discord, not key level, forced, choppy, impatient, lacked confirmation. So I'm always using like two or three keywords to point out to myself, like, okay, this is your mistake. So now when I go back and review my week, I see the consistent errors I keep making. I think that's super key in journaling
Yeah, I think I
because
got.
if you're just writing out paragraphs and you can't review your journal real quick and glance at it to see what your errors are, it's kind of pointless because why are you journaling
Mhm.
almost?
All right, so on some of my entries, like the words that stick out is patience. Like I keep writing that on all of my entries. Like if I mean all of my losses, like just a little note. I'm like needed to be more patient. I entered too early, or I
But
didn't.
was it entered too early because of order flow or entered too early because of key level?
Yeah, I think key level. Like I didn't. Um, yeah, hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Is there? Oh, y'all got my mess. I got to step away for a second,
Alright, for sure.
but it's still recording. So y'all could go ahead and do your thing. I'll be back in a quick
Alright,
second. My bad.
bet. Um, hey, bro, you said you didn't trade on the 19th?
No, I think I only trade on Thursday and Friday.
See, I respect your discipline with that. I feel like you're more inclined to not trade than I am.
Well, shit, man, I want to make money, dude. I'm tired of losing. I just look at my trader sync and I just fucking hate myself. So, like, dude, and I've been telling myself too. I used to tell myself be patient. Now I tell myself be more patient. Because in that trade that I took on Thursday, the winner,
Yeah,
I was like, all right, be patient enough to let price go to your level, and then be more patient to let price digest around your key level. And
yeah,
then when
that's
that and then when that happened, when I let it just do its thing, like going up and down through yesterday's lows or and stuff like that, the confirmations started to align and you were able to see it more clearly. And I was like, oh shit, this is what they're talking about. And then I just took the trade and boom.
yeah,
Yep.
that's that's tight. That's a good feeling.
Hell yeah. But it doesn't always work, shit, man. I'm not always patient. I gave $35 of that profit away on Friday.
What'd you end the week on?
40 something. Was
Man,
72 minus 35.
I don't know. I don't know math like that.
It's 40 something.
Basic math.
Yeah.
I ended up negative 182. That is fucking crazy.
Fuck.
Ah, the process.
I know, it's crazy, man.
Why doesn't this
Dude,
look this?
what I'm hoping for is that, like, we're now that we know to use all of the confirmations at once and not just the outlier, what I'm hoping for is that our eyes get trained to see those confirmations better.
Yeah, they definitely do. I can already see it. Like, I remember when I was first just looking at the bookmap value, I would be like, fuck, I'm so lost right now. Like, I don't even know. Like, I knew what I wanted to see, but I was like, am I seeing it? And
Yeah,
now that, like, that shift in from sellers to buyers, like, it's starting to become more obvious to me.
I know, it's crazy. You know
Um,
what's even crazier? I've been using a 30-second time frame a lot for my entries
the chart.
on Bookmap. I've been
I
zooming
don't even
instead
know
of
how you know the zoom. Oh, you're saying when you from the
yeah,
that means time.
yeah. I've
Yeah,
been zooming
I'm
on
zoomed
this.
in.
Oh, you're zoomed into?
Yeah, because it sometimes the limit orders kind of like it'll be like not a dark color, and then you zoom in and the color gets darker.
Yeah, I noticed that too. But you can clearly see like right here, the limit orders holding up price like a staircase.
Yeah,
Like it,
there
when
was
you zoomed in.
there was actually a trade you were in. You were short, Oh, when you were going for the 50-point stop, I mean 50-point target, um,
Yeah.
and the market reversed, I started seeing limit orders stack up. And I wanted to say it, but I was like, I don't want to like make him emotional on his trade. So I was just staying quiet.
Oh, you should have said it.
But you can see it here, like they're stacking up right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is going into the open, so let's see what happens. This one
What
seems hard to know where to get a pullback on. What were you
I
gonna say?
hate those ones.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm need to work on too is the low value nodes. That's what I'm struggling on. Because sometimes there's a lot like these, so I don't know which one's gonna be the one. I
Yeah,
used
I agree. I agree with that. Because even with ChatGPT, when I like posted some of my trade, like the talking about the setups I'm looking for, it says like low SVP node doesn't have to be there, but it's preferred. So I'm like,
oh,
fuck, like I almost wish it didn't tell me that because I'm like, don't
because you're
confuse me.
weren't you basing your trades off low value nodes?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, fuck, now what? But like in this case, for example, it's rallying into 45-minute supply in pre-market, 1 hour supply in pre-market, and then we have a strong 1 hour up here. So as it's rallying, obviously I'm not gonna take anything in this first candle just because that's my rule, first 5 minutes. But now on this pullback, oh, maybe this is the what is it called? The reclaim level. It
Oh yeah.
reclaimed it was resistance here, pre-market high, two times it resisted it, pops up above it, and it slightly pulls back. It just doesn't fully tap it. That's at 59.19. So right here, 59.20. That is a low SVP node, right?
Yeah.
And then there's oh, that's actually a good level right there because there's aggressive selling here, trying to sell off, but it doesn't, it can't sell off. It pops up, pulls back into that heavy selling, yet it uh buyers are still were in control the whole time. That's actually a pretty good level. That is, and then look at how limit orders were stacked right there. And the takeoff is just crazy. Just that it was only one tap, so that's kind of scary.
Yeah. I
That
just
would
hate
be
when it,
the only
like
thing I don't like about it.
so we need to really review that little section of that reclaim spot to see how order flow aligns,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we can like start trading those trades, those
So right
setups.
here, this you'd say is the low SVP node. Let me squeeze it a little. Yeah, low SVP node right there. Aggressive selling here. 59.19 is that pre-market low. Oh shit, it's too fast.
Wait, it was pre-market low?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
right there.
I know it was high, pre-market high, my bad.
Oh,
59.19, pre-market high. Okay.
oh, so it is at a key level then.
Yeah,
Oh,
but this the low SVP node does align with it. Just that ChatGPT threw me off when it was like, oh, it doesn't have to have a low SVP node, but it is preferred.
mm,
Which makes sense because not everything is going to be 100%, but
yeah. Well, he should have just said that about everything.
I mean, it does say, I asked it out of all, because I put those, the checklist you have,
Yeah,
I inputted it into ChatGPT and I was like, out of all these, how many do I need to confirm my trade? And it said, uh, 3 out of 4 is good. 4 out of 4 obviously is perfect. 2 out of 4, like I'd kind of be hesitant about it.
that's a 50-50 trade right there.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. But this is that pullback into pre-market high. Limit orders are right there, right at 59.19.
Such a
Uh,
perfect entry.
Buyers or sellers still trying here. CVD is kind of making a higher low. Oh, there's a pop. Right. Oh, fuck. See, that one's hard. Cause like on this little pop here, I would want to enter, but
Mm.
that's like 5 points. I'd put my stop under 59.19, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Fuck, 6 points. I hate those shit.
I mean, if you took it all the way up to supply zone,
Yeah.
yeah, bro.
But see, that one, yeah, that one's hard because like the volume on that little pop there wasn't very, like the volume bar didn't show up very aggressive, but the way the market pushed up felt aggressive.
Yeah.
Like that little pop, look at the volume bar here. It doesn't look aggressive like how this volume bar looks, but the
Yeah.
way it went from the price rised right there could be a signal. And if you don't take it there, you're kind of waiting too long. Because up here, I definitely wouldn't want to be taking it.
Damn, it's such a rally too.
And and if you don't take this, I feel like you have to wait a long time before you get another entry.
But even then, you don't know if it's gonna continue.
Oh, that's true. Because it could reject this 45-minute supply.
Yeah. What I hate is I would probably made the first supply like my target if I took it from pre-market or
Yeah,
something.
me too.
Oh,
What price was that? 59.40. That's a great 20-point
that is a
rally
good trade. That is a good trade.
though.
Shit, man. I didn't realize.
I'm back. I was like trying to short at this part. Like I thought it went on a pretty nice rally, and so I was looking for it to drop.
You didn't hear what we were saying
I
about the key level?
that was the last thing I heard you guys say, but you didn't mention it again. What were y'all saying about it?
Okay. So remember how I was saying a setup I'm looking for is reclaim level retest?
Hmm.
You could consider this pre-market high, the reclaimed level retest. So here, look at how it pre-market high is 59.19. So market bounced off 45-minute demand in pre-market, tried to break pre-market high, didn't, tried to break pre-market high again, didn't, form this 15-minute demand, and then at the open, it rallied. So then if you just look at the charts here, you'll be like, ah, there's no opportunity to enter. But then I realized that this pre-market high is a reclaimed level. It reclaims it by popping over. When it pulls back down, it doesn't fully tap the 59.19, but it's like right there. And then if you look
Still
at
in that low volume now.
what was that?
It's still in that low volume, 59.20. The edge of it.
Oh yeah, exactly. So then right here, this is the open 6:30 rallies super hard. And then you can see here, look at all the sellers trying to pull the market down. Aggressive selling, all in this area of that 59.20, 59.19, plus the low volume here. Let's just rewind it. So now once it's above pre-market high, now you can be like, okay, now I'm waiting for the retest down to hold this 59.20, 59.19 area, not only because the SVP node, but it's the pre-market high, and there was a lot of aggressive selling that failed. So when price gets down here, sellers should try again, and if buyers are still uh there, then the limit orders should appear to pop the market up. And as it pulls down, comes right into that low volume node. Limit orders are sitting at 59.19, which is the pre-market high. Aggressive selling trying, and buyers still take control here. It's not as clean as I would like it to be, but it does work. I was saying my entry long would be like have to be around right here somewhere where it pops right there.
I mean, the
And then you
confirmations are there.
yeah, they are. So you'd have a 6 point stop, volume, buyers start shifting in. Look at how here the selling was. Look at the red volume bars. And then as the market starts to pop, you see the shift in buyers start to come in with the green buying. CVD's rising. Oh, I didn't even realize that as I was watching. CVD's making a higher low here. Wait, overall is it? No, overall it's not. So this is the low of the CVD here. But it's stalling, which is a good sign. And the lower CVD is down here, so it's making a higher low now. And look at how it's rising here, plus the green volume's coming in, plus you're seeing price push higher. That has to be your entry here, around 24. And then here, just buyers take over and rallies it. And then you'd be targeting that 45-minute supply here, which is 24 to 40. That's about, I suck at math. It's a good profit. Actually, let me make sure. 59.40.
24 points, right?
Well, if you entered at 24, then it's 16 points.
Oh.
But that's still, I'd still say that's good. Even with the 6 point stop, that's great. But yeah, that. And then you said you were looking to short, Eloy?
Yeah.
At what price?
I entered at 59.35.
35. In this 45-minute supply?
Yeah. Let me get my ES chart. I have my. Yep. Oh, I had a key resistance. I can't zoom out to see where, but I had charted like at that exact price a key resistance from like previous days. What did I see? Oh, it was just something I saw in pre-market that I saw get tapped 2 times and it didn't go above it. I don't know if I just made like a bad assumption of how to view that resistance line. But it went on such a rally that I thought, oh, maybe it'll reverse here.
Were you trying to short at right here? Or what time?
At 6:43. Yeah, right there.
But yeah, right here. The red flag that I see for shorts here is CBD. When it tried to sell off, it made a higher low, which I'd say is a red flag. And then as buyers stepped in, CBD started to push up again. I do see why you would try it, but order flow just doesn't confirm it. Look at all the buying around the selling. The selling just is not strong enough to support the push down.
See,
And
that's
then
why that's why I wish Bookmap's editing tools will allow you to draw on CVD lines so you can put a trend line there as it's
yeah,
going.
send them a fucking suggestion.
Complain, if anything.
But I do see why you would want to short it. It's at supply. You said you had a resistance. Plus, these limit orders do seem like, oh, maybe it's rejecting price because it rejected it here on aggressive buying. But on this sell off, the red flag is the higher low CVD. And then when it pops back up, I don't know, you said at 43?
Yeah, right around 43.16, so right around there.
Oh, so right here. So it's almost like you just let it tap and then you entered rather than waiting for that confirmation of like, okay, sellers are stepping in. See here, I would want to see red volume start to come in to confirm a short. Where in this scenario, red volume does kind of step in, but buyers still keep controlling this here.
Did you hear the part about patience that we were talking about earlier, Eli?
I don't know if I
I
walked
don't think
away
you heard.
at that.
Well, I was just telling Eric because he was talking about the list I made, but I was telling him that on my journals I used to tell myself to be patient, but now I'm telling myself to be more patient. So be patient enough to let price get to your key level, and then be more patient and let price digest around that key level. And what I noticed is that when I did that, I let price just do its thing, even let it tap the key level a few times. And then you'll start to see the confirmations start aligning more clearly, which gives you more confidence in the direction of is it's trying to go. So you can take that trade. So so what I learned is it's not enough to be patient to just wait for your price to get to the key level. You have to be more patient and let price digest around it. So just a thought that I had.
Hmm.
The key there I think is like letting it digest at that level. So like instead of just entering when it tapped it, like watch for that reaction. Watch for sellers trying to step in. Yeah, it's gonna make you get in a little lower probably. So your risk is gonna be a little higher, but I think it also makes the trade a little higher probability
Right.
rather than just on that tap, which I think I also need to work on at times.
Oh fuck yeah, I do too.
And there might just be moments where
Dude,
it get
hold up, that's exactly what I did on Friday, by the way, with that 50% fib.
Well, oh, you just the tap?
I pretty much just saw it tap and I was like, oh, I'm getting in.
yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. Like, so there are certain trades where even though it'll hit your area and you might miss it, and it goes like for a perfect reversal of like a gang of points, like it probably won't go back to that area for the rest of the day. That it'll go off the first tap, and then there's moments where like you're telling us to like let the story build and like let it see what it's gonna do around that price. And then I guess just being more patient is key, regardless whether you miss it or not. Like at least being more patient is not losing.
Yeah,
Well, what?
even on this go ahead.
No, go for it. Go for it.
I was gonna say even on this one, look at how if you would have been patient here, and if personally I would be like, oh, I wanted to tap this limit order, and it doesn't tap it. So yeah, I'm being patient, and it may have taken off without me because up here now I'm like second guessing myself, like, oh, is it popping up? Is it? And then it just takes off, and obviously that's gonna suck because I'm gonna be like, fuck, I just missed a great setup. But I would rather be patient to make sure like my confirmations are aligning than to just force it because it's at a level.
Yeah, because what patience does, it brings clarity. It brings it lets the confirmations time. You know how like when you see on someone's desk, it has those little metal balls that go back and forth, and
Yeah.
then eventually they synchronize and then they stop. That's kind of how like order flow is. It's all crazy in the beginning of the trade, but then as time goes on around the digestion of the key level, the order flow starts to synchronize and come together, so you're able to see it more clearly. That's what patience really does. It just brings out the signals better.
All right.
And realize one thing, how when I said when we were watching the market come down to this key level, first we point out, okay, it breaks that pre-market high, and now we're waiting for that pullback to hold the level. Um, I pointed out everything that's on his checklist. The low SVP node, the pre-market high is the key level. The limit orders appear. The volume starts to shift from selling to buying. The CVD is making a higher low. That's how when price is coming to your level, that's how you want to be analyzing Bookmap. Like point have that checklist and check it off. Volume is starting to shift. CVD is making a higher low. There's a low SVP node and a key pre-market high here. And the more you do that, point out all those different areas, the more you keep doing it, the trades are gonna look clear to you every time because your mind just automatically knows what it needs to be paying attention to.
Yeah, and then your eyes will also get trained to help your mind pay attention to that stuff. But also, when you journal your when you like post your trades on book on fucking Discord, I suggest that you write out your confirmations on that list and like really show what you saw while you were taking the trade.
Yeah,
That would help you too.
for sure.
I know this shit is a lot of work, man, but I just accepted the fact that it's gonna be a lot of hard work. Shit, I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna do it.
Like, I accepted it too. It's just bad habits kicking in, like just sloppy laziness. But I got no other
You gotta,
But
passions.
I
you
think
got,
organizing it like that with the checklist is gonna help it not be as like confusing. Like,
yeah, that's sporadic. That's exactly why I did
yeah,
it. I felt like it was so much noise that I was looking at with Bookmap, but then when I had that checklist, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see what I want to see, and it comes out. It's it's cool, but yeah, I don't know. It's just gonna be a lot of work. Oh, I was gonna say, that laziness stuff, dude. You gotta really look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, like, dude, these habits that I have that I've been forming are not gonna cut it. They're not gonna make me profitable. Like, if you really want this shit, dude, like you really gotta study, dude. You really gotta not give yourself excuses on why not to study. Dude, I tried that so many times. I just do it now.
Yeah, I
You just
definitely.
gotta
I mean, I don't give myself any excuses other than like talking shit to myself about being lazy. But I gotta just get out of it.
comfort's a drug, man. I'm telling you. I I I I go back and forth with comfort so much myself. Because after I'm done studying, then I'm like, all right, well, now I just can watch TV. Like, what the fuck? That's stupid too. I need to work on that. So I unplugged my TV.
Damn.
I don't
It's,
even have a
it's
TV.
I wish I want to do that too, but dude, it's cool having TV.
That's crazy. You unplugged the TV.
I had to, dude.
Yeah.
You
Once.
just gotta be real with yourself, man. You
Once.
gotta tell yourself, I'm fucking up. I'm being lazy. I've told myself that so many times.
And
And I'm
I definitely got that going. Like, I check out my journaling and my calendars on like. I don't have the TradeZilla or whatever platform you guys use, but I have like my just a bunch of Excel calendars and sheets that I use that I'm aware of like my faults. Like I'm not making any excuses like, oh, it's because I needed to do this. It's just more of like, yep, I'm not making time right now for it, and I gotta like check that. Like I gotta just check myself in a way where, and that's part of my process. I know my process can be worked on, but right now I'm just aware that I don't know what's going on. I just gotta step it up.
dude, but like I get lazy too. Like I'm not saying like you're just being lazy. Like you're the only one being lazy. I'm lazy too, but it, like what I'm saying, what helps me is just calling myself out and being like, okay, I need to really step it up and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it.
Did you review Bookmap last week, Eli?
Just I'm looking at my calendar. Like I just reviewed it on Monday, and I think it's because I had a win, and I was like, let me see what I saw.
Having a winner does help you review better.
Yeah.
I'm
But
switching to the yeah.
yeah, I just got to get addicted to the review process as well. Like,
I mean, that shit is boring.
yeah, it's boring, and so I'm